Okay, so let's talk some theories about Stranger Things Season 5 regarding Eddie. Of course, spoilers ahead for Season 4 and everything else. So, if you haven't watched it, go and watch it and get caught up. Come back to the video and join us by subscribing to the channel if you haven't. Also, hitting that notification bell. Stranger Things Week continues. We will have a live tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But let's talk about this theory that actually Eddie is alive. So, many of us were wondering who was going to die in Season 4. The Duffer Bros pretty much told us there was going to be a lot of carnage this season and the end of it. And one in particular that came through with this was Eddie, as we saw him ultimately perish by the Dema Bats. And also one in particular, Max, is in a comatose state also. So we don't know exactly where these two are going to end up in Season 5. But it seems to be confirmed that Eddie is dead by the Duffer Brothers. But many people are still holding hope, as he was such a fan favorite, that he would come back. And there's some wild theories out there, and one in particular that sounds kind of possible. So let's talk about it, and of course, take this with a grain of salt. We're just having fun theorizing here. We don't know what's going to happen, and it doesn't mean that it's going to happen this way. So pretty much people are saying is that Eddie will return as a vampire. So yeah. Sounds crazy, I know, but here's some of the things that people have laid out that have me thinking, you know what? You might be onto something. So pretty much they say that the character known as Cass in D&D is a character who is a vampire who uses a shield and sword. Who uses a shield and sword? Eddie. And is pretty much the most trusted lieutenant of Vecna, but after many years of loyal service ends up betraying him. Now, of course, Eddie isn't really a Vecna fan here in this season, but people are theorizing that since Eddie's body might have been left in the Upside Down, of course, there's no confirmation of this, what happened to him or his body, but many people say if it were indeed to be left in the Upside Down, then wouldn't Vecna just be able to resuscitate him and use him for his own will? I mean, El now has resurrection powers, so why wouldn't number one Henry Creel also have that power? And so Cass in D&D, as I said, is a human vampire. People are saying that Eddie was killed by the Dema Bats and also has bats tattooed on him, so it would not be so much of a stretch to say bats seems to be something major for Eddie here, right? So that's something that we definitely have to think about it. But I think that this also alludes back to what we saw in the D&D match they were having with Eddie, where Eddie pretty much tells him that Vecna lives, even though everybody thinks that Vecna was dead. And so I think that this is a very cool theory to think about, because also people point to the fact that Eddie's holding an Iron Maiden tape, and Iron Maiden's little mascot is a zombie named Eddie. So I think that definitely makes us think more and more that could there be a possible way we could see Eddie return. Now the Duffer Bros did say that you cannot die from the being able to be bit by the bats, but it seems to me that Eddie bled out compared to what happened to Steve, so there's that. So we know that Joseph Quinn talked about wanting to return in some way, shape, or form in Season 5, but more of a supernatural way, where he would be all in Gadden's head and imagination, and that would be similar to what we saw with Billy and Max, where we saw Billy this season, but of course it was just visions and flashbacks, and that's pretty much it, but not really Billy returning full all the way. So interesting theory, and one that I just wanted to talk to y'all about here is this. What do you think about all of this? Do you think that Eddie would return as some zombie vampire type character that's gonna do Vecna's bidding, but by the end of it ultimately turn on Vecna and kill him for everybody? I mean, we know that the final season's definitely going to come down to 11, as she is the main one, but I feel like we could definitely see Eddie aiding in this, and I feel like the fans who want Eddie back are the strongest that we've ever seen for any character that's just been recently introduced, so I could definitely see this. But still, we have to think about that the Duffer Brothers did say that Eddie is officially dead. I'm not too familiar with what they were saying at the time when we saw Hopper, so that's something right there. But, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, because ultimately we did think at a point that Hopper had died, but of course we saw this season that Hopper is still alive. So we're gonna see what happens with that. I personally like this theory to think about that, and it would make sense, especially knowing that 11 was able to bring Max back, and so we could possibly see Vecna try to bring Eddie back and try to use him as well as a sort of like lieutenant, as we saw in D&D. Vecna use Cass as well, but ultimately see that maybe when the friends come back and all of that, we will see that Eddie will turn on Vecna and pretty much help take him down. So a lot of good theories here. Let me know what you think about Cass the Bloody Handed being Eddie and Vecna pretty much trying to use him as a puppet. So I don't know. It sounds interesting. I'm excited and we'll definitely see. But anyways, I will be uploading some videos all week on Stranger Things. We have a couple more videos this week, and then next week we do have some new shows to talk about. We'll definitely make a video on Better Call Saul tomorrow, getting ready for the premiere on Monday, and we'll definitely do more live things every week. That's what I'm trying to do, and maybe every other day. So tomorrow we'll do a Stranger Things Q&A style, like where we'll just talk about the ending and just talk about what we definitely think about what's coming next in the season as well. And we'll definitely make that event, so stay tuned for that by subscribing to the channel, hitting that notification bell. We will be doing more live events for shows and all of that, so definitely do that. Next week also is Comic-Con, so we'll definitely cover everything we can from that. So if you don't want to miss anything on that, make sure you are hitting that notification bell. We do have the ending for The Boys Season 3 today, so I will be doing a video right after. I should have a video with theories talking about also the new trailer we got, so stay tuned and check that video out before we check out the finale tonight. So we'll do that video of the ending explained right after, and then we'll do a theory video tomorrow as well, so that will be out by the time you're done watching the episode, and I'm excited. So let me know what you think about the theory of Eddie coming back. Let me know what you think about Stranger Things Season 5. We won't probably get that till 2024, so we got a long ways to go, and the theorizing can begin. Like already we see a ton of that, so I'm excited to see more as people rewatch it again, and I'll definitely put some input as well. As always, that's gonna do it for me. 25,000 subscribers. Let's get to it. I'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.